Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Welcome to the first, I don't know where I'm looking, first audio and video video episode of Everybody Loves Bliss. I am Bliss. I hope I'm looking at you. If not, I'm trying. This is the first. Uh Ross Cooper, say hi to the people.
Woo! What up? How's everybody doing?
Oh, you got to echo. We got to echo. Ross Cooper, you're going to need to turn something down. I'm going to turn stuff down because we're going to get through this show. I'm going to turn my sound down. You're going to turn your sound down so we get this here without the echo. How you doing besides having the echo? We're turning things
Uh,
down, good people. You're going to bear with us because we have been through hell trying to get this done.
we have. I'm
And
pretty groovy. I'm pretty groovy.
you're pretty groovy. So am I. Other than this has been a hellacious experience of trying to do a video podcast. I don't listen. My hat is now off to all the people that do because I had no idea how things can really just go freaking astray. So yeah, so we're here and listen, we are here because we promised we would do a video podcast on this day.
Mhm.
I don't know if it's actually going to make it to our sites until
It
until
will.
tomorrow.
We're gonna put the
But
positive energy out.
yeah, I hope so. I'm just hoping on it. Listen, we are this is a major day. It is the inauguration day of President Joe Biden. And let me just tell you, I know hardly anything of what's going on, Ross, because I first of all, let me get back to this. We have actually been at it trying to get this stuff right. This is probably our, I know, our good 20th attempt at making sure, and all of the platforms, listen, the platforms that advertise, I'm not even going to say their names, that say they work and are easy to work
Mm.
are not easy to work. I'm
Mm-mm.
having a Pinot Grigio and Moscato mix. I didn't mix it. It came in a bottle like this. But let's cheer to this finally,
Hmm.
yeah, let's
Meanwhile,
cheer. Meanwhile, somewhere, somehow, other things are going on. Anyway, so it's the first day for Joe Biden in the White House. He is officially the president. Kamala Harris is officially the vice president. And I got, and listen, and I this is what I promised. I promised I would stay hopeful. I'm looking. I don't know where I'm looking. I promised I would stay hopeful. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stay hopeful. Um, and when we talk about this on the next podcast, we'll have more information. Because again, I listen, y'all. I'm here. I'm here on the video. Um, but I'm adjusted. I'm on a bed making a whole lot of noise, sitting on the bed on the day bed making a whole lot of noise. I know you heard me adjust because it's the old one. I listen. I'm gonna drink on camera. I don't drink on camera. Well, it's a video podcast now. I got to drink on camera.
I, I,
Okay.
I'm just having bodybuilder punch, and I'm holding my tongue a little bit because I don't want to poo poo on
No,
everybody's.
no. Don't hold your tongue. We don't hold our tongue. People
You
don't.
said we were gonna give it a chance. Stay optimistic. My
Well,
problem is
okay.
black folk are real big on symbolism. And based on a lot of things I saw on social media today, whole lot of symbolism and a whole lot of like we don't know what's really going on. Like had a conversation with a homeboy of mine who is hardcore staunch Democrat, and I got admonished for I said, I went to a certain page, Dr. Boyce, and he mentioned how why are we
Wait.
celebrating.
Wait. Dr. Boyce Watkins.
I'm sorry,
Act
Dr.
like
Boyce Watkins.
everybody that
Yes.
listens to this
You
show
you
is
you're
black
right.
in conscience and conscious. They're not. And that's okay. It's I'm
Okay.
not saying that like you have to be, but we need
Wow.
to address you like
Full,
we
got
know
you,
other
got you.
people watch.
Just name dropping.
Well, did you
Went
hear
to
what I just
Dr.
said?
Boyce.
Wait, did you hear what I said? I said we gotta address it like other people watch, like other people listen and now watch the show.
Ow. But
Ow. Okay.
Went
Okay.
to Dr. Boyce Watkins' page. He had a couple of takes. I think I tagged you in like, oh, he's gonna get fried for this one. But the Emeritus Manumission, that was one. But I think it was his page I went to.
Go into that. You can't
Oh,
just
oh,
that. You
oh.
got to go into it and
Well,
what
I didn't.
because
Okay.
I got a little bit. I'm going to talk a little bit about the Trump pardons, a little bit. I'm going to give
Hmm.
a little bit and a little bit about what I know Joe Biden's already putting into place. Some of the things I like, some of it I'm going, but go ahead.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna circle back to that one just so I can stay on the topic. Where I was going with it is we celebrating black folks sitting here celebrating transition of power from one racist white guy to another racist white guy. And I get it, just Kamala and everything, but ultimately, folks are celebrating the transition of power from one racist white guy to a slightly less racist white guy.
Well, you okay, here's the problem with what you're saying for black folks is that they've forgiven him. And Joe Biden is now the second coming of something, and they've forgiven him. So all those trespasses from before, and I'm sorry, people, because I'm messing with the sound, and hopefully you're not hearing me do that. But all those previous trespasses they have forgiven. So you stand in the past. See that? See how you are?
Mhm.
See the
Right,
problem?
right. But then it was, oh my God, Michelle and Obama look so regal and come through with the drip. And I'm like, the Obamas, again, symbolism, symbolism,
Well,
love some symbolism.
well,
What has it actually done?
well. This is not. See, okay. Here's the deal, Ross, and we've talked about this. People are tired. They're tired. And
Hmm.
this is going to give them the time that they want anyway to go back to sleep.
Oh,
They're
see, that's harsh.
already, I told you that was going to happen. Remember what I said on the last podcast? I said that we're going to start to die down on the conversation about what happened at the Capitol because it's already turned into the biggest joke already. That conversation about who was in, we'll hit that in a second. But
Hmm.
and as soon as this thing happened with this inauguration, people are getting, oh, now I can relax. Oh, relief. Oh, I listen, your favorite celebrities, your favorite, your relatives, they're all doing that. Oh, thank you, Jesus. Oh, we can relax now. Oh, it's so much better because they see Trump was he was an one of the things I have to say, Trump was an equal opportunity offender. He was loud and brash and bold with his offensive. You generally we're used to our politicians being slick and slimy and slithering about it, but in this last 4 years of Trump, you've just seen a bold brashness. And then white supremacy and white supremacists and those who practice the behavior got bolder and more brash. So people are assuming now, because the person in the what's considered the largest office in the United States, so the most important to some people, that that's going to calm down. So some of our racist friends are going to go back to being quietly racist and quiet and liberal, and like they've done, a lot of them have done anyway. um and some of the people who've been as bold will not be, because they won't feel as and they won't feel like they're getting the authority from on high. Because remember, just the excuses people use. Remember, since the Capitol situation happened, since the coup, and we've been these weeks afterwards, people have actually said they went there because Trump told them to.
Told him to.
So Trump told them to go there and break in. So now they don't have their fierce leader to lead them to the Capitol and to commit other offenses. So some of them will quiet down too. So everybody wants to be lulled to sleep, but the racism will be here. The system will still be here, just like it was prior to Trump, just like it was prior to Obama and during Obama. So I mean, you're right. We love this. This is what we do. We love going to sleep and complaining and pretending like nothing's happened. Because what's going to happen now under this new administration? Black folks who are awakened are going to say, yeah, he's doing nothing for Black folks. He's doing this blanket persons of color thing, like we told you he was going to do. Some of y'all going to
Hmm.
act like you don't see it. Where am I looking? Some of you, for you all that are listening, pay that no mind. Y'all listeners, listen like you have been. I'm getting used to the next level of what we're doing. But anyway, what was I saying? I done lost my track. So this video thing then got me off track. I'm sorry, audio listeners who have been so loyal. This next level of,
I mean, it's just like I said, it's symbolism and
but we've all
already
from that.
true. I was gonna say already he and I hate to be that guy.
Don't
I
hate to be
hate to
that
be
guy.
that guy,
Don't hate to be that.
but because it's like I don't want to poo-poo on people's parade per se, but in all already he signed an executive order that erases the Muslim ban. I have to confirm it, but I understand
He,
that.
he did. He did it. I think
But
that's a
I've
good thing. Why are
That's
you?
absolutely a good thing.
Yeah, that's a
But
good
I've
thing.
also heard there was something also put in place, and I got a warning, speculation. I have to double check it, but it's like something in regards to whether or not um granted the rights to homeless shelters to decide whether or not someone homosexual can stay there. I don't understand why that
I
would be
don't.
the
I have
case.
no idea. What I don't know anything about that.
Yeah, so I got to do a little digging on that one. I've heard a couple wild out things like, I'm not so sure about that one. But it's a good thing right off the bat, you got rid of Muslim ban. That's
Well,
awesome.
let's talk about the things that I do know that he's done. What
Yeah.
he's done is has extended the moratorium for folks, so you can't put people out of their homes. So with the whole rent issue, so yeah, we needed that because landlords were going and they were getting ready to go file. Well, they filed because the other moratorium allowed them to file. They just couldn't move on it. So the moratorium has been extended, so we won't have people put out of their homes just yet. At least that's extended to March 31st. There's some moratorium that gives a break for right now for a couple of months on us folks with student loans. I'm hoping that eventually what he's going to do is forgive the student loan debt. I think that that's under
I,
like $10,000 or less. I think that that's a great start in helping most folks in terms of creating wealth and getting rid of a significant amount of debt.
you, yeah, it's just what I think is scary and interesting all at once is how people and I guess a lot of us are prisoners of proximity, so to speak, but we see things through such an American lens, and we tend to forget there are other countries that have kind of figured this thing out. Other countries have figured out free healthcare. Other countries have figured out you don't need to, pay a house the amount you would for a house to get high level education. So there's other places we can easily look to say,
Oh,
hey,
you're asking too much. You're asking. Look, we're lucky these people ain't getting put out. I mean, seriously, we're lucky that we have a moratorium and people can't do evictions. Doesn't mean they can't. The landlords can't file. It's just it suspends the actual procedure of evicting a person, which I again, but we still in the United States don't understand that free healthcare and free education, we're so afraid that we're going to turn socialist or we're going to turn communist,
mhm,
we help each other. I mean, I would think that, and I agree with you, I would think that we would start looking at how we function compared to other countries, especially since COVID. I mean, just in the fact that we pay some of the highest taxes of of other of organized nations, and we got $1,200. And I know that $600 was okay, but I don't really know many people who've gotten it.
I still
I don't
they
know.
mailed mine for some reason. Like I didn't do anything. My bank information is still the same. And they said, hey, we're gonna mail it to you. But
I
since
don't
I
know.
moved, needless to say, I haven't gotten it.
Okay, well, and maybe, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's not like I'm asking folks, did you get your stimulus check? But a few people that I've had conversations with, I was like, well, you know, if it was still in discussion about raising the amount, did they decide to wait and just not send? I don't know what they did, but I think that all of that reconsideration now. I know that he's made some adjustments to DACA. Here's the main thing, because I don't know of all of what happened with the DACA. I know that one of his first orders was to re-engage in some kind of large way with DACA, which is for, of course, helping immigrants. But here's the other thing that which to me is more important. He reestablished the United States connection with the World Health Organization because Trump had removed the American connection or activity. I'm stumbling over the words because I'm still looking at myself in this camera too. Anyway, I'm stumbling over the words. But anyway, Trump was anti World Health Organization, and y'all, some of y'all not gonna like when get what I'm getting ready to say, but I don't know that Trump was wrong about that because if we look at some of the behavior of the World Health Organization and what they do in some of the underdeveloped countries and a lot of the experimentation that's allowed to go on there, and I question someone like Bill Gates's influence and participation and reach into the World
Hmm.
Health Organization, I don't know that Trump was wrong on that move. However, Biden, very liberal guy, very, trying to be very liberal. And of course, he is elitist and part of the corporate mix. He is. I mean, that can be good or bad. It just is what it is right now. Because again, I'm still being hopeful. But yeah, he has uh, connected in whatever the exact term is, the United States with the World Health Organization, and we'll see what happens with that. That I question. I do like the moratorium. I do think that that's a great thing. I do like the consideration for student loan debt. At least a moratorium. I think a bigger consideration, like you suggested, would be that we forgive the debt, and then moving forward, we need to have discussion on educating people for free. But here's the thing. But wait a minute. Here's the rub. Here's the rub. How about we need to improve the quality of education in the United States, especially on the 12th and lower levels, on those elementary and high school levels. The educational system in some places is great, but a lot of places in the United States, I mean, kids don't know how to. You're looking like you're surprised. They don't teach cursive. Kids don't know how to sign their names. Why are you
Um,
surprised?
well,
I'm
I
looking.
mean, like,
Oh gosh, listening audience, I keep referring to looking at him and looking at cameras. Give me, forgive me. I know that's not great to hear, but I'm trying to figure it out. But
you
you
worked it
seem
out.
surprised.
I mean, literally, okay. Seventh grade English teacher once told me that, I'm never going to make it through college if I don't know how to write in cursive. Well, guess what? The only thing I do in cursive right now is sign my name. I don't think cursive is as critical as we believe it is, but I do think you are on the right track. The system does need to be examined because the way it technically is supposed to balance out, as you well know, schools are funded by property taxes. The thing is, when you are in very poor neighborhoods,
That
no
can't be.
property
That can't
tax.
be how you do that. Right.
Right. You can't keep doing it that way. But I think the overarching issue here, and it goes back to what you just said a moment ago, we need to we need to stop treating socialism like a dirty word.
Right.
And it's like something I saw. If capitalism was so great, then why does it keep needing socialism to bail it out? Every time something goes left, we pretty much put in place pseudo socialism to balance the scales,
Because
the
that's what COVID
bailouts, and so
showed.
on and so forth.
Right, because this COVID pandemic shows that you need some of that socialism that you're so afraid of to save the system when things go awry. You do. You do. I mean,
Yeah,
I mean, for those who are taking the COVID shots, they're supposedly that's what I've heard. They're free. I don't know for sure because I'm
I
not.
wouldn't get the Moderna one if you can help it, but yes.
Uh, oh, one's better than the other.
Apparently, there's been a lot of reports of allergic reactions, and those allergic reactions have been coming from those who have gotten the Moderna vaccine.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
California actually has halted giving out the vaccine
I heard.
until further notice.
Okay.
So if you can pick, I would take it to Pfizer. Just saying. But but
And again, I'm not in any way telling you all what you should or should not do. I'm just saying that social, let's get back to the topic. the bit of socialism. We tested people for COVID for free um, during the pandemic, and I think we still are doing that. And a lot of places, again, back to what you're saying, a lot of places came up there. These food surpluses came up, and there were a lot of food giveaways that happened around the country, and I was glad to see, so that people could eat. So, and that is a bit of socialism where we there are agencies that give food. Um, I've heard for people, a lot of their medical supplies were forgiven that they've had to pay for during COVID. So you need some of that. You
Hmm.
need some of that. Schools had to give computers to kids.
Right. Right.
They had to, for kids who didn't have computers, in order for them to continue learning. Those are the things that you've been so afraid of. It can work.
It
It
absolutely
works.
can.
It saved
We
us during this time. So yeah.
it flies in the face of, well, listen, my thing with this, with capitalism, is this. In theory, capitalism can work. The problem with capitalism, in my humble opinion, is it doesn't account for the other isms. If capitalism was just straight up as is, fine. Capitalism does not account for racism, sexism, cronyism, favoritism. And these are the things that pollute the dream. Because, hey, I started a business, I got a good job, I'm going to hire my buddy, qualified or not, because that's my buddy. There's favoritism. Trump's entire life is nepotism. Up glass ceiling for women, you can be go but so far. There's the sexism. So if capitalism could work in absence of those other isms, maybe it wouldn't be so bad for starters. But it just, I can't think of a point in history where it ever has.
Because there's somebody who's never going to be able to get enough. There's
Mm.
somebody who's never ever going to be able to get enough. I mean, I think we touched on this on the last episode, but at this point, with what's happened with COVID, we know that there are basically seven major companies that are getting all the business, Amazon being one of them. Jeff Bezos, is he, or is it Elon Musk? Elon Musk, one of them is the most, is the richest
I
person in
think
the world.
Jeff Bezos was, and I think he just got surpassed by Elon Musk.
Okay. Yeah. So and that's been since COVID, where all of these small businesses closed down, all of your small and middle businesses, a lot of mom and pop businesses closed down, and Amazon took over the world basically. Somebody's gonna always he's going to want more and more, not want to give back. The Amazon doesn't pay taxes. That's been a problem for years. They haven't paid taxes. And I don't know that, I think that there was a way that Jeff Bezos with Amazon could have created some, and maybe that's coming up, could have created ways to help mom and pop stores. I'm going to supply your and sell your stuff through Amazon, or we connect so that people don't have to pay so much out of what they sell on Amazon, so that to save those small businesses, let them sell through the platform and charge them minimal, very minimal, or not at all for a while. They could afford to do that. I know, I'm getting ready to go somewhere. Um,
Right.
because
There's
I
just,
just
there's no interest in equality. There's only interest in hoarding. As AOC, Alexandria Ocasio Cortez, my favorite senator, my
you
Congress
always
Bay,
quoting,
yeah, my Congress Bay, always says every billionaire is a failure of humanity, and I firmly believe that.
and it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. I mean, on this eve of change, on this change night, supposedly with the changing of the guard. Um,
Yeah.
I don't, again, I promised I would stay hopeful, and I will. So in this next conversation, we're gonna have a more thorough discussion on all of the things that are being put in place by the Biden administration, because they're on it. I didn't, again, I just grabbed those few that really stuck out for me. Also, here's the other thing, is that we're all going to be able to keep informed, because now we're going to have those daily press conferences, White House press. Remember Trump stopped them. He
Oh
said,
yeah, that's right. That's right. I forgot about that.
so now we're going to have those daily press briefings from the White. What daily? Are they going to be? They
Well,
they
really?
really plan on doing some work daily. So get ready for it. So that's what's coming up with that. And for us, let's talk about for us. So we are going to continue with doing the video and audio of Everybody Loves Bliss.
Hmm.
I like it and I don't. We'll continue giving you more
Oh,
information. We've
this
got a
is
lot of stuff coming up. Surprises for this show. We have started because I got to plug. I always forget to plug, so we're going to plug this. We do have the soft launch of our YouTube page. Soft launch has started, so we've yeah. So you're going to grow with us. Please, please, please go and subscribe to that page. Also, we are on Spotify. We're on Podcast Addicts. We're on Stitcher. We're on where else are we? We're on SoundCloud. We're on Apple Podcasts. We're on Google. And listen,
wherever
we got
you
a
get your
Facebook
podcast.
wherever you get your podcast, because what's been happening is as we grow we see that this becomes more and more work. So we are working out ways that you can be part of the show, more interactive with us, that you will be able to come on and chat, send us questions, we'll answer your questions and bring some of our audience on. That is coming, people, it's coming. So we're working on all those stuff. So I had to stop and say that. I had to stop and say that because I always forget to plug us. All right, I don't plug us enough, but we worked our butts. I'm going to tell you, we're on the platform I did not want to be on. I'm not going to say what it is. I don't know if it brands itself. We are the
See,
platform I said I was not going to use because they're just because of the limitations of what it does. But look, we everything else we tried, we could not get to sync with all of the stuff going on. So we're going to continue to work, but we are going to continue with this video, audio podcast, and keep talking, keep bringing the information to you. So with that plug, let me just give myself a little pat on the back. What did I tell you last podcast about all of it? So they spent all of that money sending all those National Guards to DC. All the capitals are on high alert. I told you wasn't nothing going to happen. That didn't
yeah, I
even
knew that too. It was way too obvious. Way too
happen.
obvious.
But you had to err on the side of safety. But all the money that has been spent for this inauguration, the security alone.
Nature of the beast, kind of, sort of. Nature of the beast. You got to make sure it's secure. But
Mm.
I'm
I mean, I'm not. I mean, You're right. They didn't have. What other choice did they have? But still, geez, the money. 20,000 National Guardsmen and women.
hey, I mean, gotta
And where's
gotta
that
make
money
sure
coming
old
from?
boy is safe.
Where's that? We don't have money.
I'm about to
We got
say,
programs.
the defense budget just re-upped. The defense budget just got a re-up. Got
Yeah.
like 90 million billion dollars. You know
Uh,
that. Meanwhile, in a
Meanwhile,
poverty-stricken neighborhood near
your
you,
$600 that you still haven't gotten, that measly $600 will not keep you from getting evicted after March 31st. But okay. Yeah. So we're gonna see what happens with this administration. And you know what you got something? Because was gonna
uh,
be a short. This was just a we
right. Real quick though, the brother that I was speaking about, that I was talking about with Dr. Boyce Watkins, the brother from the Capitol, he got promoted apparently. The brother that led the mob away from the Senate halls or
Okay,
whatever,
let me
he
put
got
this in plain
promoted.
language because you're talking about the brother that listen,
I
sir, my audience does not know what you are talking about.
Okay, all right,
The black
okay,
police officer
right.
who went viral leading the mobsters and gangsters and thugs and rioters who entered the Capitol.
Such harsh language.
The black police officer who had led them away from chambers has now been promoted.
He has been promoted to like sergeant at arms or something. Long and short, he got promoted. He's a hero. And that was where I was started off a little while ago talking about Dr. Boyce Watkins' really hot take, comparing that to Emeritus Manumission. I was like, oh, you're gonna get killed
Explain
for
that for
this
people
one.
who don't know what that means.
So Emeritus
You
Manumission
dropped us.
was goes back to slavery times where if a slave did something to save his master's life, he could be granted his freedom.
Very rarely was he.
Okay, I totally forgot about that clause, but Dr. Boyce Watkins made that comparison, and ooh, did he get killed for it?
It's a
And
genuine carrot.
I'll say this: I can't say whether
What
or
is
not
the
the brother,
criticism, though? What is the? I mean, if you're going to bring this up, what is the what?
because to compare him to a slave sacrificing himself for master, that 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 don't sit well. That doesn't sit well with a lot of people.
Are you
Like,
bringing this up to answer me what I think about it, or what is? First of all, what is your take on it? On what?
I
Since you
was just
brought
gonna
it up
say,
twice,
I think that's a little, I think that's a little left of center. I think that's a little, I don't think that's a good comparison. I will say this: I wouldn't have done it. Like, I will say, because at the end of the day, how I'm looking at it, because somebody mentioned it to me. We had a little back and forth debate with someone about it. And what they mentioned was, look, that's your job. That's what you signed up for. I understand that. But at no point has this country ever let me forget that I'm a black man in this country. So here I am with this charging mob, and ooh, I'm gonna save the same folks who can't figure out reparations, who can't figure out equal protection under the law, who can't figure out all of these simple things to save and protect my black ass. I'm going to leave. I'm gonna save them. Nah, but I get it. It's
what?
your job. You
Okay,
signed up for it. It's your
okay,
job.
okay. Wait, because I didn't know this was coming. I, so wait a minute. So are you suggesting that you would have led the crowd to the chambers?
Nah, I'm suggesting I just would have ran and let y'all figure it out amongst yourselves. I'm
Well,
not either way. I'm not leading the mob away. I'm not leading them to. Ooh, I'm out. Let y'all work that out
well, I
yourselves.
mean, he had to run somewhere. So he just ran the direction that was away from the chambers versus going the direction that was, because at some point in that hall you could only go left or right. So he
Right.
went the opposite of where the chambers were.
And
Because
they're saying that's intentional.
well, let me just say what it sounds like you were saying. It sounds like Ross Cooper, don't get my show canceled on this stuff you doing. Sounded like you were suggesting you would have just said, it's that way. I'm out.
No, I've got to like, oh no, please don't follow me this way to the chamber. Why would you do that? No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. What I'm saying is it's about
Lord.
100,000 of y'all, one of me.
First
I'm out.
video show, and my co-host is going rogue, talking
I
about
mean,
what led the insurrection to the chambers.
no, I would have loved in the chambers. You wouldn't have been to find me. I'm out. I'd be like, ooh, that look heavy right there. Let me just go to the nearest exit.
Well, he
Let
had to
y'all
go.
work that out.
I mean, Ross Cooper, he had to go
Yes.
one way or the other. So he went away from the chambers.
Yeah.
So
But quite
you either have a
intentionally. And like
choice.
this.
You either saying you would have ran towards the chambers or what? Lord have mercy.
No, I'm saying when I saw all that
The
happening, when
opinion
I
of
saw them bum rushing the spot,
the
I
opinions
would
of
have
my
been out
co-hosts
out.
do not reflect my feelings about how the insurrection should have been led.
I mean, the brother's been heralded as a hero and he's been promoted, so clearly he did the right thing.
Well, I mean, I don't have a problem with that because I know, listen, I didn't hear that, but I'm not surprised to hear it. Um, I mean, what, yeah, why not? I mean, keep in mind, this officer who was part of that incident, remember what the experience of the officer who gave that interview with, I can't even remember, we quoted it last week. You know what they went through, those black officers went through? Because one hand, this is the same crowd that's like, oh, blue lives matter, not yours, black man. um so we love the police, f the police, f you, nigga, and all this. That's what they were dealing with, a complete insanity at the. So I'm okay with the brother getting his his props and
Absolutely.
whatever he got for I hadn't heard that, but okay.
Yeah, and like I said, I just think Dr. Boyce Watkins' critique was a little harsh. I don't think this is a case. I think him evoking emeritus manumission is like, ooh, you're gonna get fried for this
See,
one.
that's an
And
example of, to me, where we get clueless with consciousness. Like, to me, and I because to me that what you're, I don't even know why we're talking about this, but I guess if we're I mean, since we are, I just think that you can be so conscious in trying to be conscious that sometimes we just say stuff that doesn't make, because I mean, he only had two, he had one, he can go this way or that way, he just happened to go away. I don't, and he wasn't like he begged for to get the promotion. He got the promotion based on
right,
being so I don't
yeah,
see
I'm with it. I like I said, I think Dr. Boyce Watkins' critique was a bit harsh.
yeah, it was yeah. Okay. So anyway, um anyway, what I there are several pardons that Trump has made. Um did he try and pardon himself? See, I don't have all the info. I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
I
y'all.
don't
This is the
either.
podcast where I was so busy trying to give you the visual. I don't have all the info tonight. But did he try to pardon himself?
I'm not sure.
Okay,
I
so
wouldn't put it past him. I did hear he pardoned Little Wayne though.
what
Exactly.
what
He
okay.
pardoned Little Wayne. I guess
Pardon him for what? What is he what is he in jail? What, I mean, what is
he was, but I think he was about to be facing some gun charges. And I'm like, I guess all of that showing up at MAGA rallies paid off in the long run, didn't it, Little Wayne? Hmm.
okay. It's there are 143 people on the pardon list for Trump. We're going to go through this list and have a full conversation on that for our next podcast. Um, but I know there were two rappers. I did hear two rappers. I didn't even know.
Wayne was one, Kodak Black was the other. I don't know what Kodak Black
What?
did or why.
Okay, whatever. Okay, okay.
Like, I could have left
I'm
him
more
where he was at,
I'm
but
more
okay.
interested if he pardoned himself and who the people who worked in his cabinet who got pardoned. Because I mean, those two rap. I mean, I don't even. Okay,
Seriously.
whatever. Well, okay, so we pardoned him. So anyway, listen, I'm wrapping this up. I'm wrapping this up because I no, seriously, because really this podcast is the Promise podcast. We are visual. We are visual. Our YouTube page
Yeah.
is up. You asked for it, you got it. So now that you asked for it and you got it, give us what we need from you and subscribe. Make sure you are subscribed to all the platforms you can subscribe to. Again, we're SoundCloud, Stitcher, Spotify. We got a YouTube channel. Come on, what else we got? Hello,
SoundCloud, Spotify, Stitcher,
Google,
YouTube.
Apple.
We got
Yeah,
the Facebook.
come on.
We're
So
everywhere.
anyway, I'm wrapping this up. We're
Boom.
wrapping this up early. We didn't talk about a lot today because we were here. We were here
Yeah.
trying to figure this out and get this podcast to you. But we will be back next week, full on with all of the down and dirty, talking about all whatever is important to talk about. We're gonna talk about that pardon list, and I want to know all the stuff. No, because it's really honestly first night of Biden being in. I mean, everybody's it's just niceties. It's like who sang. Okay, I'm
How
gonna.
did J Lo get the shout out to J Lo's manager? Shout out to J Lo's manager.
You know
Cause
what?
somehow she got the call before inauguration. Like, so we
You know
lip
what? Let
syncing?
me
What we doing?
see. I didn't say it.
Shout out to J Lo's manager for getting that gig.
I didn't say
Okay.
it.
Out of everybody in the universe, J Lo?
Remember,
Really?
at some point, someone had Aretha.
I,
Biden had J Lo and Gaga.
I got no issue with Lady Gaga. Like, okay,
I
that's
don't
cool. I
I
like
mean,
Lady
I
Gaga.
think people should have who they want to have. You and that
J
shady
Lo,
J Lo comment.
J
What is
Lo,
what
J.
are you doing tonight? You,
Fam, how you?
you
We're
what are you
still
doing?
stuck at. We're still stuck at. How were you a judge on a singing competition? You can't sing. Just saying.
Oh
But
God.
okay,
Oh God.
okay,
Okay,
it's
you
okay.
have
It's all
gone
right. It's all
rogue.
right.
Why do you
It's
go
all right.
rogue on the first video? After the
I'm sorry.
hell we went through trying to get these technology to work, you go rogue on the first
I'm
video.
sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yay,
Lord,
J Lo. That's just
listen,
just.
I didn't know that was coming. I okay. I'm wrapping it up. But before I do, I'm wishing my grandmother a happy 95th birthday today. My grandmother, my maternal grandmother turned 95 today. My grandmother has been my supporter, my second mother, really a lot of times really more like my mother. Um she has just both of my grandmothers, both my maternal and paternal grandmothers are really were really special. My paternal grandmother is no longer here. My maternal grandmother is here, and just help shape this that you see before you, and my resilience, my faith, um, my just my independence and independent thought. She is my sassiness. I mean, a lot of my determination to be who I am and be honestly who I am, and to stick with that even sometimes when it's been difficult, um, came and comes from her. And today she turned 95. So happy birthday, Violety. I love you very much.
Woo!
So yeah, that happened today. So Ross Cooper, I don't know what this podcast was. I'm still looking all over the place trying to figure it out.
It was
But
fun. Just kicking it, having a great time. Let the folks see the cuteness.
oh yeah. I didn't even give them all full glam. I gave them I gave them a press. I was gonna give them extensions and eyelashes. I give you none of that. But people have asked about the logo and the bindi, and yeah, the bindi is real. It happens. It happens often. So we'll talk about this in energy and protecting your pineal gland another time. But Ross, you went rogue on me tonight. I don't even know what to say. uh that first night, let's cheers though. We made it through all the technical issues. We made it through this first video podcast. And for the listeners, we will be back with a real podcast next week. Next week. Until then, if no one has told you, I want to tell you we love you and we wish and want the best for you. Thank you for coming in tonight, today. Bye bye.